Hello. Welcome to week 5 of my Artist Way journey. Here she is. This is going to be my week 5 check-in. This week was about recovering a sense of possibility. Off the bat, it's been a pretty intense week. I feel like I've made a lot of progress, but I feel like I've just had a really deep feeling of like feeling lost or not being able to like enjoy my rest, because I'm wondering if I could be doing more to not feel so lost and stuff like that. And I've also just had a really busy weekend. Like, I'm really tired right now. It is Sunday, March 16th, 9:07 p.m. And I just have like a lot. I've done like a lot this weekend. And yeah, so I'm pretty tired, I'll be honest. But I definitely wanted to get my check-in done. Usually I do them on Saturdays. But I don't know. Like I said, it's been a hectic week. And yeah, I figured I'll just come on here and be freaking honest with you guys. Because what else is a girl to do? You know what I mean? Okay, the first question is, also, this is the first week that I've not completed all of my tasks. Every week there's 10 tasks on top of like the morning pages and the artist date. And this is the first week that I just didn't do all of them. And it kind of makes me feel bad about myself. I kind of get like that. Like I'm working through perfectionistic tendencies. That was something that I was covering a lot in therapy. And just like allowing myself to freaking vibe out and like not shame myself for things. And this goes back to like, excuse me while I trauma dump. This goes back to like when I was a kid and like I would get really anxious, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I was such a good student, was because like I couldn't stand whatever repercussions or whatever like projections I had about what that would mean about me and like myself if I was like a bad student or just like average or slightly disengaged. If it, like it made me feel really anxious to think about that, so I overachieved and I beat myself up a lot. So I feel like that honestly was a huge theme of this week. That was very reflective. I did not anticipate that coming out within the first 3 minutes of the video, but again, here we are. Yeah, so bear with me, because this chapter was a little bit difficult for me to get through, honestly. It was very reflective, and I think it was like necessary reflection, but it really had me like, it's interesting because the chapter is about recovering a sense of possibility, and I feel like I've just been in a place where I've been pretty lost, and I don't know, like some days feel really good and some days make me feel really anxious, and like I don't know why I'm getting like a little emotional right now, but yeah, some days are really good and some days make me feel super anxious and I just don't even know what I'm doing. So yeah, and it was hard for me to feel purposeful at times, and I feel like the week rounded out really nicely and I made a lot of progress, but I feel like it also came with a price. Like in the beginning of the week I felt like garbage, which wasn't fun. I don't know, I just feel like I'm going on like this this can be very draining. It can be very draining. And the author actually warns about like how emotionally taxing this journey could be. I'm not really sure that it's completely this journey, but I mean, maybe it is, I don't know. But it can be very confronting. So, trust. Your girl is being confronted. Trust. But let's just get into the questions. The first question is, how many days this week did you do your morning pages? Are you starting to like them at all? And how was the experience for you? Have you discovered the page and a half truth point yet? I love my morning pages. I do them every single morning. Some days I do them earlier, some days I do them a little bit later in the morning, but I've gotten pretty good at like doing them in the morning or like at least around noon, depending on what I have going on. I'm also really working on my sleep schedule. Like I need to be better about getting 8 hours. I think I have pretty good daily habits and routines. And I think that my sleep might be affecting me more than I realized now that I'm thinking about it. Because I've struggled with sleep my entire life. Like I'm not like I'm not like an insomniac. Like I can sleep, but it's just really hard for me to like go to bed early. I don't know why. Like I can wake up early, but like I feel like I don't rest enough. And I sometimes it's hard for me to inactively rest. Rest where it's like you're actually resting and doing nothing rather than just like your mind going, but you're physically resting. I do that a lot, which is not fun because I'm emotionally drained and mentally drained at the end of it. Anyways, back to the morning pages. So sorry again. I don't know what's up with me. I've had a really long weekend, which has been beautiful. I had like 2 birthdays and a wedding, which was awesome. I freaking love that kind of stuff. But I'm tired, and now that I'm reflecting back on my week, it was kind of rough for me in the beginning. But I think the experience overall, I've journaled a lot more this week. Like, I think last week I was talking about how I connect with God a lot through my pages, and this week was very much about like recounting things, because I think there was a lot of like physical action in my week. And yeah, so I love my pages. I think that when I do crack into the truth is about that halfway point, which is really interesting because I kind of had no idea about that. But that happened today. I was thinking about it today, and I was like journaling about the wedding I went to last night and like how beautiful it was and blah blah. And then in the middle of it, I'm like talking about how I feel like I've entered my writing process, songwriting process specifically, and I've finally been able to kind of achieve this really difficult but beautiful balance of like consciously writing but unconsciously, in terms of like allowing myself to be a vessel and not overthinking everything that I write. Because for a while I think I had some really, really paralyzing overthinking habits when it came to writing and making music, and it would cause stagnancy. And that's super frustrating. So I'm glad that I broke that this week. I actually wrote something, I think with the help of my morning pages, come to think of it. I wrote something that I'm so proud of. Like, I really love the song that I've been working on. I did not expect it, and I think it's because I went into it like I just thought about it more, about how I was approaching my writing. That was a big focus on within my morning pages this week, because I was feeling really lost and very discouraged, but that was pretty cool. So yeah, love them. 7 out of 7, another week in the books. Thank you. And yeah, question number 2 is, did you do your artist date this week? Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? What did you do for your date? How did it feel? And have you taken an artist date yet that really felt adventurous? Comprehension skills were a little shaky there, but anyways, did I do my artist date this week? Unintentionally, no. I again had a really busy week. I kind of started preparing for the weekend during the week and completely forgot about my artist date, because I usually do it during the weekend, but I was busy this weekend. However, I watched a lot of TV. I watched a few documentaries, and I just decided to let that be my artist date. Like, after a while, I consciously made it. I was finishing up a documentary, and I made like the decision in my mind to be like, okay, this is my artist date, taking this like leisurely time, whatever. Have I received answers during this leisure time? Not during my artist date, but during leisure time in general throughout my week. I feel like especially since I started writing that song that I wrote this week, it has opened me up to like hearing and seeing things differently. Like, it is a really wild. I've been writing songs for 5 years now, and my relationship to songwriting is really changing, and I'm so grateful because I think that I didn't have the best approach before, and I'm liking the stuff that I'm writing so much more. I think it's so much more of a flow, and I'm enjoying the process a lot more, which I think was really important. Like, making music in the past, writing has always been my favorite part. Production is always where I kind of want to bash my head into the wall, because I love every single part of making music, but production, I think I was too insecure before to endure something sounding really bad before it sounded good. And it would make me question myself. It would make me talk down on my talent and my gifts, and like, yeah. So this writing process I've enjoyed a lot more. I've made it a point to find the enjoyment in the process. Like, the pleasure is in the process. Like, the fulfillment is in the process of writing it. It's not about the glory that I get from putting anything out. Like, that's not where my creative energy is like bursting with, like, you know what I mean? Like, passion. It's like, this is the moment that I need to like soak in and be present for over any other part of it, really. So yeah, that's kind of like what I've been downloading this whole week. Yeah, so what did I do for my date? I watched a lot of TV, which I kind of beat myself up for at the end of the day, which is annoying, but I mean, it's the truth. How did it feel? Felt good, but afterwards, I was like, eh. I felt bad that I didn't do an actual artist date. Again, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, overachiever, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know, like, not doing every single thing to the best of my ability can sometimes really mess with my head. So, unfortunately, it didn't feel too good. But also felt kind of good because what I was watching was really interesting and I was enjoying it. I just felt kind of bad for enjoying it, which is a mood kill. So I'm working on it. All right, you got me. I'm working on it. Have you taken an artist date that felt really adventurous yet? Yeah, last week I think was like, literally, like, it felt like a side quest. I want to do more stuff like how I did last week. Like, just give myself... Sorry. Give myself a day of, like, literally just vibes, pure fun vibes. I love that. And I feel like it was so refreshing, and it really does, like, re-energize me to spend that alone time and to do things that I thoroughly enjoy. I was gonna say jurily the whatever. Oh my god. Sorry. I'm literally. I think I'm being a little bit delirious. Whatever, bruh. Who's gonna fucking check me? All right, relax. Anyways, number 3. Did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? Try inaugurating a conversation on synchronicity with your friends. Maybe I should start reading these things before my week is over. Because honestly, the week is over. What am I going to do now? I actually had a conversation. I can't really disclose the conversation on here. Ow. I can't really disclose too much of the conversation, but anyways, I was telling my best friend Cameron about, I don't know, like something that happened to me this weekend, and she was like, oh, was it fate or like, and I was like, kinda, so maybe that counts as like a conversation on synchronicity, but I don't know, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking back on this week and I'm like, holy crap, this week was so long. It felt so long. I can't believe it. I feel like the start of this week felt so different. And I felt really, really different. So yeah. Did I experience any synchronicity this week? Yeah, actually, kind of did. I've been looking for bandmates and people to like build up this next project with, and I ran into someone who drums, and I've known him for years, but like I ran into somebody who drums, and that was pretty freaking lit, because I think he's an awesome drummer from what I've heard and what I remember. So kind of want to start working with him, ? And we talked about that a bit today actually, and yeah, that was pretty cool. Synchronicity. I needed something and God was like, here, have it, take it, love you. I was like, thank you. But yeah. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like when stuff like that happens. It's always very interesting to see. I'm sure I've experienced a lot more synchronicity this week. I had a studio session, and I feel like that was pretty synchronistic, like the timing of it in my life, so to speak. Left my job. This guy hits me up, wants to work with me, and that happened right after I stopped working at my job. So that was also a little bit of a synchronicity, and we met up this week. So that was cool. Yeah, we'll see where all of these things take me, because I'm still figuring a lot of things out, and I think that's why I felt very lost in the beginning of this week, was because I don't know, when the possibilities are so endless, it can be a little overwhelming. So I'm working on that. Also, I feel like this video is really boring, so I'm sorry if it is, but I'm just being honest, because I feel like the emotional side of this journey has really been like showing itself to me lately. And it can be tough. It can be freaking tough. I think I have such a clear vision, but there's a lot of things that I feel like I'm gaining a lot of clarity. Oh my god, if I can speak. I'm gaining a lot of clarity, but at the same time I feel like when I put my next foot forward, like one foot in front of the other, it's like there's still so much unseen. There's still so much like that I don't know, and that I'm struggling with not knowing of, if that makes any sense. Like, yeah, so that's kind of what I've been going through. And I guess that's a synchronicity in itself. Oh, another synchronicity is I was writing about in my morning pages how I wanted to be more open and stop overthinking so much about my songwriting. And the next day, or even later that day, I think I wrote that song that I'm really, really proud of. So that was pretty nice. Like, it was like once I set that intention and kind of figured out that blockage. Yeah. I also think, speaking of blockages, the tasks this week, which I avoided doing, I think subconsciously I definitely avoided doing them because they talk about why you're stuck in the place that you are and how you benefit from being stuck in that place. And really confronting stuff, I just so happened to not do those tasks. I think that part of me didn't want to, if I'm being very honest. And I think that something that keeps me stuck is the way that I view my creativity and the way that I view like my relationship to songwriting, like I was saying earlier, and just kind of having to construct this like perfect idea and like really rigid concept and giving myself like this one topic that I want to talk about, and then like elaborating and like writing down all these points about that one emotion or topic or circumstance or whatever, and then I have to stay in those confines because that's what I want the song to be about, instead of just getting up and writing what's on my heart that day and trusting that it's on my heart for a reason. Whatever comes out onto the page comes out to the page for a reason. You know what I mean? Like, just not, like, keeping it simple instead of spinning my wheels over and over. Like, that perfectionism is a huge block for me, and it's so draining. And I think that combined with figuring this thing out like one step at a time has really like been pretty draining. I'm good. I'm like, I'm okay. I'm taking it day by day. I still have a lot of belief in myself, which I really I'm proud of, because I think that my faith was very much easily shaken in the past. I'm still sticking to my guns. I'm still backing myself. But there is that like underbelly of like, yeah, you believe in yourself, but there is a reason why you're like not where you want to be. And as easy as it is to point fingers, a lot of that does have to do with ourselves, which sucks to admit and to think about and talk about. And it's hard to even navigate. It's hard to pinpoint what those things are within us. So I think I've been doing a lot of that, and it's hurting. It's hurting, but it's healing at the same time. So, shouts out to the artists out there. Shouts out to God, because honestly, I don't know how I would get through this, but a lot of prayer has been going up. I'll tell you that. A lot of prayer has been going up. Yeah. And the last question is, were there any other issues this week that you consider significant to your recovery? I think I just described them. I think my perfectionism has bitten me in the ass once again. And I think that I feel like part of my perfectionism is intertwined with a bit of I think I have some issues with control. Shock of the century for anybody who actually knows me. Yeah, I struggle with control. And I think that I've struggled with it for a long time. And I think that a lot of my anxiety is connected to it. It's like one of those cycles where it's like, what came first, the anxiety or the control issue? Like, they're besties and they're locked in for life. But I've honestly, what's so crazy is that I haven't even consciously like gone through this, but now that I'm sitting here having to reflect and check in, like, this is when it all hits me. So yeah, I've talked a lot about this stuff in like therapy, and you know, I've prayed over it and just kind of like tried to work through it in whatever ways I have, whatever tools I have at my disposal. But yeah, I think that's a huge blockage. I think that those are a lot of it, those are my issues right now. I think I'm doing a better job of putting myself out there and like continuing to have this as my focal point. But yeah, those have definitely been issues. Just like, and again, still that same issue of like, part of the week feels, this week it just so happened to be like the beginning of the week I felt so lost. Like I was just, ugh. I didn't even know like how to move forward. And then I had a studio session which went really well, but then I freaking was overthinking about it and just like I don't even know what to make of it. So I don't know. But then I had like so much beautiful quality time with so many of my friends this weekend, and like I've done a lot of awesome stuff, which has been fun. And I've made a lot of like professional progress. Like I wrote a song, I booked a show, I'm doing an open mic tomorrow night. I've never done one of those, and I made it a goal for me to do like at least one show a month. So there you go. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm meeting these goals, but it's like, ugh, life is just really transitioning for me right now, and it's hard to find my footing. And not knowing what's next is very triggering for my anxiety. It's very triggering because I feel like I have this like innate need to know what's coming next. But I don't, and there's no way to. And I feel like this is just like exposure therapy of like, you don't need to, and you're not gonna, so just get over it. I think that's what God's trying to tell me right now. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Those were my issues. I'm excited for this coming week. I'm about to do the reading. So yeah. Again, sorry if this was boring. I'm a little low energy right now. I had a really long week, and I think it's like all hitting me right now. But nevertheless, we persist, don't we? So thank you for watching, if you watched this entire video, and I hope that this helped you in some way, or that you found it interesting. And yeah, I will be here next week. Same time next week. Yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.